So this morning, I'm not gonna lie, some of these, there's a small group of Uber passengers, particularly on the Uber side. There are a bunch of bitches. Yeah, I said it. They're just entitled and they complain about the littlest things. So this morning I picked up a guy really fast, quick, took him to his destination, but the maps sometimes are a little bit off. So I just asked him, "Are you going here?" And he said, "No, I'm not going there." He didn't tell me where he's going. He said, "No, I'm not going there." And I keep driving, and I figured it out. It was a store behind what I thought it was. And he one-starred me and says I wasn't polite. This the second bullshit-ass complaint this week on the Uber side. Meanwhile, on Lyft, I very, very rarely get any complaints. I don't know if it's the demographic of people that prefer Uber or Lyft, or I treat everybody the same on both platforms, but for some reason, there's a small group of people on the Uber side, usually younger. They're usually on the younger side, that are so entitled that any little thing you do wrong, you're getting one star, and they're gonna put in a complaint, either a safety complaint or you're not polite because they don't know what else to put. And I contact Uber because I want my rating high, and they won't change it. So I'm still up there. I think I'm like 4.95, and a lot of you would be like, "Well, stop complaining." But if I could, I would be a perfect 5. If they would not allow these entitled people to, or don't count these 1 stars for these entitled people, I would be at a perfect 5, like I am on the Lyft side. And it's just the way they do it. On the Lyft side, it's like every 100 they change it. On Uber, every 200, so it takes a while for you to get your rating back up. And it's like, you can't contact anybody no longer on Uber side like you used to. Literally just a few months ago, you used to be able to play in the app a little bit. It took a while, but you would get a live person. Now it's all AI. It's a thing of the past. I think on Lyft, if you play around enough with the bot, you'll eventually get a live person, but it's really, really hard on Uber side right now to get a live person. And that's frustrating. You know, sometimes you just want to hear a live person to just vent, and these apps don't get that. If I was just allowed to just vent, I probably would be okay, even if you can't do anything for me. But you can't really vent with a bot. You're just going to get more aggravated because the bot spits out generic responses over and over and over about stuff you already know. I'm a 7-year veteran. It's like spitting out this crap that I already know. And it's more frustration than anything. That's why I'm venting to you guys. There's really nothing they're going to do. They're not going to change my rating. I basically just got to deal with it, or just don't use the app. That's their attitude. So thank God I'm no longer relying on this full time, because I can see how people get so frustrated that they want to do something to make them feel better, and they can't, and you just get so bottled up. You know, these apps will literally almost drive you crazy if you let them. This is why I got to get out. I mean, I'm a 7-year veteran, but I don't think this is, you know, at least on the Uber side, is even panning out as a good part-time anymore. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, don't say that, because you love it so much. There's literally loyal people that are addicted to these apps. Even if they hate them as much as me, they don't want you to say anything too negative about quitting because they love it so much and they're addicted to it. I shouldn't even say they love it. Or they're just addicted to driving full time. Like every time I say something like, don't do this full time, you'll get like a full-time driver will chime in and say, don't talk down to full-time drivers. Like I'm trying to fight with you guys. I'm not trying to fight against you. I'm trying to fight against the apps. But you're taking it like I'm against you. That also drives me nuts. It's not often. You'll get like one outlier that complains in their comments and stop talking about us. It's just crazy. And it's like I'm just trying to go through the app and seeing how I can at least unmatch that person, because the reason why I know who did it is something told me to just check and see, and I got a new 1-star and a new complaint right after that ride. I don't know what it was. It was just a feeling. Even though I didn't really say anything to make them 1-star me, it was just a feeling came over me. And I only had 2 rides this morning on the Uber side. I get less offers on Lyft, but they're usually slightly higher paying offers. Like I took a Lyft ride right after that, and I told him about what happened. And I told him these entitled Uber passengers, like, yeah, he's in sales, he's in a car dealership, and he was like, yeah, some entitled people, you could do everything for them, and they still give you a negative remark or a they'll give a negative thing on them. He was saying, and it cost them money if they got a negative report. Actually, it affects them money wise. And so he understood. And this is a passenger. This is a Lyft passenger. Literally right after that. And he totally understood what I felt. I just needed to vent, believe it or not. And I know you shouldn't really involve your passengers, but it's a good way to make you feel better sometimes if you could talk to somebody, and it instantly made me feel better just talking to somebody about it that understood. And I was telling him what I do online. Yeah, I got a couple YouTube channels. I'm doing affiliate marketing. I think he said he was doing something in network marketing, which I'm totally not interested in, but I kind of act like I was just so I could possibly get a tip. Network marketing is just, I don't think they're all scams. I don't want to say that, but let's just say that out of maybe 10 MLMs or network marketing companies, you might find like one good one for every 10, or one good one that actually outlasts time like 20-30 years. And he agreed. He was like, a lot of them don't last, a lot of them don't stay in business. So, not to change the subject, but that's what we were talking about. And he was like, do you do this full time? I was like, not anymore, I can't. And that's when I started venting about the Uber passenger. I was like, this crap is a mess now. The pay sucks. The only good thing is that I enjoy talking to you guys, like speaking to him. Like sometimes you'll get a passenger that with the same interests or vibe like you, and that makes my day, because occasionally that makes it worthwhile driving. Because occasionally you will get somebody you can relate to, you can talk to, you have similar interests. That's what I enjoy about rideshare. So it's not all bad, but pay being number one. Like, why else are we out here? Pay. Number two, if you're gonna get shitty pay, you don't want to deal with entitled people that are gonna one-star you for every little thing. And when I contacted Uber about it, I put a long, detailed complaint. They still said you're in the top, I don't know what percent of drivers, because I'm still high tier driver in their mind, because I'm not below, 4.9 or whatever. Unless you get below like 4.9, like you're less than 4.85 or something like that, they don't want to hear it. And they're gonna just give you this generic answer. You're still in the top whatever bracket of drivers. So you're doing the right thing. I'm like, oh my God, these bots. And I love AI. Don't get me wrong. I love AI, but until it affects you negatively, you're like, oh God. You start remembering, okay, yeah, this is definitely taking jobs, because now they're going to replace all these foreign people that could barely spoke English. So now it's going to be worse, because now you're just dealing with a bot. And that's frustrating. And I use AI every day. Don't get me wrong, I love AI. I use it every day. I use it for video editing. I use it for titles, thumbnails, ideas. But dealing with AI, when you have a physical complaint and you can't vent to an AI, and make it worse, they keep spitting out generic answers, it gets a little frustrating. It does. It gets a little frustrating. And that's probably my third 1-star this month. Second in probably a few weeks. And I do nothing different on the Lyft side. I treat everybody the same. Good morning, how you doing? I got this guy to his destination very quickly. I just asked him one thing. I was like, are you going here? Or, because sometimes if buildings are very close, you can't tell on the map. So I guess I got to just keep my mouth shut today. I got to literally be a robot, but then they'll still get me for saying I'm not polite. If you're like mute and you just drive like a mute and you just say good morning and nothing else, sometimes they'll still get you for not being polite. Because you don't want to chat, per se. I don't know. A part of me is like, why are you still doing this? Just get out altogether. But I think I need to do it a little bit longer until I get this this medical transportation stuff going, because it is still a large part of my income. It's not my only income, but it's still a large part of my income. And I have less complaints on Lyft. So I tell you, if we had a third rideshare app that took away some of the things that bothers us, man, it'll be a good feeling. I'm telling you. I almost feel like I need to create one. And a passenger told me that once. I don't know, man. I might have to go on Replit or one of these no-code platforms and figure something out. Because I don't know how to code. I don't even know how to input my needs to describe it necessarily. But that's what AI is for. I can go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude and be like, just help me. Give me the right prompts to help me describe a platform similar to Uber, Lyft, whatever, because this crap's for the birds. It really is. It's really for the birds. And I know some states already have other apps out there working. I like some of the subscription-based models. I'm just not a fan of like Revel rides necessarily, because it just seems scammy a little bit, the Revel rides app. And it's like, if you don't go out and get enough people in your state, they're not going to come out to your state. It's not going to work in your state anyway. So here you are signing up people like we did with Trip that turned out to be a scam. So people are like a little bit disappointed after that whole thing with Trip rides. Trying to do something like Revel rides. Excuse me. So the app kind of has to like just start here in Connecticut for people to take it serious. When we know realistically no apps are going to start here. They're all going to start like in New York, because we're so close to New York. It's more likely to start there or Massachusetts or something like that, and then migrate slowly out to Connecticut. Uber was in New York long before it came to Connecticut. And even then, it only came to Connecticut out of need for the New York people wanting to come out here. I think that's the only reason why I came out here. I didn't even see Uber in Connecticut until 2014, 2015. And then I didn't see it everywhere until about 2016, 2017. Before I really saw it everywhere in Connecticut. So, I don't know. Give me some ideas of, should I try to go on one of these no-code platforms and see what I could come up with, because I don't know. It might be worth a shot. You know, I call myself not techie, but I can't keep saying that because I'm using technology more than a lot of people my age. So I can't keep saying I'm not techie, but yeah, I know more about AI technology than a lot of people my age. A lot of people my age. And I'm using it every day, so I can't keep saying that. It's just, I guess I'm just frustrated, you know, with the whole idea that these people are so entitled on the Uber app. And it just dawned on me today. I was like, why are they so entitled? And it is a lot of Gen Zers. Now that I think of it, the two complainers, I believe, are, you know, in that age group. That could be part of it, you know, because I don't think it's I don't think it's Gen Xers will sit there and one-star somebody for something so little. I really don't. I can't see it. Maybe not even millennials, you know, because they're getting up there. Millennials are, on average, are what, in their 30s now? So it's a lot of these Gen Zers that are, what, under 20, or early 20s, teens to like early 20s. They just complain about little stuff. Little things. They could just be in a bad mood. You know. Don't catch I hate to say this, don't catch a woman in a bad mood. I caught one morning and she forgot her keys. And we were already at her job. Instantly started taking it out on me. I was like, what store is it? Because the app sometimes just stops you. It don't tell you what store. You know, if it's a newer, you know, business complex or whatever. It'll give you the general location, but it might not be specific to the store. And you'll be like, oh, what store? And they'll choose, oh, don't you got navigation? I'm like, here we go. Here we go. And you can't say nothing because you don't want to cause her to send a bad report. But believe it or not, I didn't get a bad report. That was a Lyft passenger that happened that day. Even though she complained, she didn't put in a complaint in the app. But I guarantee you, if that had been an Uber passenger, I would have got a complaint. Uber, if you're listening, you got to do something where every little star rating don't matter. Lyft actually did something. I'll give Lyft a little credit. Lyft now doesn't count the star ratings as much. I don't know what they're doing with that, but it counts, but it don't count. I think it counts towards like your goal level, but it don't really count against you using the app per se. If you just got a lot of reports on you, it'll just bring down your goal or whatever, on what tier you're on, I should say. I believe that's how it works. Hit me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it don't seem like Lyft rating, at least in my area in Connecticut, count against you as much, you know, from what I'm looking at. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm gonna get back out here for a few hours, and then I'm gonna go home and try to put out some content so I can hopefully get some affiliate dollars so I can get out of this rat race in the future, at least. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Oh, free AI training. Free AI training. Links below, or go to blanddrake.com. Check the links below. Free AI training for you people that say you're not techie. If you made it this far in the video, go down, check that out, and plan your future so you can do something. At least start getting some AI training so you can get out of this rat race, at least in the future. All right? I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for all your support. Subscribe, like, comment. Nice guy driver. I'm going to see you in the next one. Thank you.